Now, one of our series of interviews that we do both in Limerick City and outside Limerick City continues in the vein of What Matters. And What Matters this evening, we're talking to two gentlemen that set up a very, very important organisation looking after the welfare, the legal issues of separated men. They're called Families, set up entirely on a voluntary basis by Joe Wallace and Seamus Scott, and they're here with me this evening. Great to talk to you.
Good, John.
Joe.
Thank you, John.
Now, can I just ask you both, in a matter of speaking, how Families was set up and why?
It was set up because there was a need, right? There were a couple of people way back in 2000, in 2002, and they were going to the court system, going through separation, and as men, they were looking for help, and there was nothing there, nothing at all. Like they were being referred to basically counselling. So if you separated and if you needed any kind of support at all, back then there was none. So they said, this has to change. So they looked at the model that was there, which was the women's groups, and there was about 30 or 35 women's groups. There's now about 40 women's groups in Ireland. So they looked at that model and they said, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Then it was very difficult to get any kind of funding, so they just put their hands in their own pockets, and with the help of some people like Paul Partnership and other people around, they started to advertise in the paper. A meeting in the George Hotel was one of the first ones.
Yes.
Back in 2002. And I suppose it's kind of mushroomed since then, and different guys have come and gone. We've been with it now for over 10 years, and we've finally parked ourselves here in Father Russell Square Hyde Road, and we're here to stay.
Yes.
And
that's actually, by am I correct in saying, a generous donation, you'll say, by Limerick City
Council? Yeah, definitely.
Which is fantastic, and well done to them on that.
Absolutely, they've been fantastic. They've been great, you know. Mm-hmm. And like without that, we would be just going from pillar to post, basically.
Yes.
And what's important really for men in Limerick and in Ireland is that there's a bit of consistency there. You know, there is somewhere where they know they can go, a safe, confidential place where they can get help and get information, because the separation and divorce area for a man, woman or child it's not easy.
No.
You know. No. Unfortunately in this country, you know, separations, divorces by consent are in, you know, they're less than 5%.
So it can be, you know, acrimonious there.
Can be.
And that has to play, Joe, on what I've learned from meeting yourself and Seamus and other members of the Families group, is that men can tend to be isolated, maybe not able to talk about these problems, because women seem to be able to converse with each other and get the support of friends. But men have this problem, haven't they?
It's a huge problem, but it's probably an Irish thing, I think, more than anything else, that men, they go into themselves and keep the hurt and the pain, and hopefully they're thinking that it'll all sort itself out, and it won't.
Yes.
The mental health aspect around that is enormous, because if they can't handle the situation, some guys, you know, they start drinking, some people might start taking drugs. You know, lucky enough, if we get hold of guys in time, then we give them the support, as Seamus said earlier on, we give them the skills and the tools as to how to manage, first of all, themselves. Yes. Going forward. So, because if they're not healthy mentally and physically going forward with their case, they're not going to be able to look after their kids, first of all, if they do get access in the courts to see their kids.
Just on that point as well, isn't there a problem emotionally for men because legally or morally or socially they tend to be separated more from their children, and that seems to be a core of a major problem for them?
It is a major problem, because no matter who's right or wrong in the relationship breakdown,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
father inevitably has to leave the house.
Yeah.
So he's removed from his home. The family structure is basically dismantled around him.
Yeah.
And the biggest part of that is the children. Children that he would have seen 24/7. And when he does get into court, he's reduced maybe to, if he's lucky starting off, if their kids are young, he might get a couple of hours a week. He might get an odd weekend. And according as the kids get a bit older, he might get more access. But it's wrong that fathers or men are put in that position. It's like as if they're being criminalised because they're separated from their kids.
Yes. And isn't that a terrible blight in the legal system? In this sense, that does the Family Law Act have to change with the times, or is it changing, or are attitudes changing?
Well, there's definitely need for the Family Law Act to change.
Yeah.
Divorce is 21 years in the country this year.
Is
Came
it
in
21?
1996 it came in.
Yes.
And it was a difficult bill to get through, so they had to have a referendum at the time twice before it
Yeah.
to get through. So very little has changed in the legality side of it, in the process. So if you're going through a non-consensual divorce or separation, you have to go through the legal system,
Yes.
which hasn't, expanded or changed very much. There's been one or two small little changes. The Law Reform Society has spent many, many years working on proposals. There's a book that thick with proposals, and Minister Alan Shatter was about to bring in quite a few of those
The
proposals.
amendments, yes.
But unfortunately he lost his job.
Yes.
And now Frances Fitzgerald has gone and parked that. She has only brought one of those proposals into fruition,
Right.
which is custody for guardianship for a single dad, because you've got single dads who break up in relationships too, as well as married people.
Married as well.
But yeah, look, it's very difficult because the legal scenario is in this country, you've got to wait 4 years for a divorce. It's a long time if the marriage is over. That was part of what the referendum
Yes.
decided on, with a lot of influence from the church at the time. There's proposals out now to reduce that down to 2 years. And if any other country in the world, you can get a divorce
Within months.
within months, or maybe
Before
a
the
year.
paperwork is done. It's by
Exactly.
consent.
Even if it's by consent, you still have to wait 4 years to apply,
Yes.
and then it could be another year before you get it. So in reality, if your marriage is over today, you've got to wait about 5 years before you can remarry or, get closure.
Yes.
There are other things, annulments and all that kind of stuff as well, but that's a different story. So legally, for the individuals involved to wait that long is not really an option to get some kind of closure. So that's where we have separation agreement.
Yes.
So once you've been separated and living apart for over a year, you can get a judicial separation.
Yes.
Again, that's if you don't consent to sitting down with somebody, a mediator, or
Yeah.
even yourself. Some people sit down at the kitchen table and decide. So you've got two kind of court scenarios, which could be multiple thousands of euro, twice. But if they reduce it down to 2 years, you'll
Yes.
probably just come to some agreement for the kids and
Yes.
then have your divorce in 2 years.
When Joe, through your counselling, network and meeting of people, do you come in contact with the children of separated men and women?
Not within the group settings, we'd say. We would often meet them outside of the group.
Right.
No, they wouldn't have their kids in it at the times that we would have meetings.
I know.
Like we have meetings Mondays and Thursdays, and their kids are home with their mums anyway those particular evenings, so
Yes.
they wouldn't have them as much as they'd like to have them,
But you'd be aware of there has to be what we might call a psychological pressure on them.
There's huge pressure, and it's not even recognised emotionally. Yeah, big time. it's not recognised at all by the courts, by the HSA, by nobody. And there's lots of dads have gone into the river. We've managed to save quite a few guys.
And you've also attended funerals as well.
We have,
of members of men that can't cope.
We've lost them, lucky enough we haven't lost a lot.
Thanks
because of the support
yes.
they get here. And it's not just Seamus, myself, and we have Eddie as well, he's our treasurer. We have a fantastic group of counsellors here who provide a great service, and they've, they're the ones working behind the scenes that nobody sees.
To bring men back from that awful brink, that decision.
Yeah. And like we also have women coming here for counselling, we have a women's group.
That's great, yeah.
We also have a women's group here that meet on a Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
But the women's group is up and running just over a year. But prior to that, we would have dealt with a lot of women that have gone through counselling here.
Yes. And they in turn, if men and women, do you find that they actually come voluntary into the group to help other men and women, as it were, through difficult patches in life?
It's very rarely you get somebody coming back, giving something back, and the reason I think that is because they want to get on with their lives.
Right, yes. Yeah.
They want to, they're appreciative of the support they get here, there's no doubt about that. But some people can't handle the hurt and the pain. They come back to get the help for themselves, and they can't come back again and go listen to the pain. There's a lot
it's
of
like revisiting.
It's revisiting their own story again. They can't do it.
Now, if there are men and women out there that want to avail of the fantastic services that you offer here in families, how could they get in touch with you? We'll put it up on the screen anyway, but just for the moment.
We have a helpline. And that number is manned over the weekend as well, and that number is 0872 603 603, and as you say, you'll put it up. We also have a website.
Great.
And we have 2 Facebook pages. One is for the community group and one is for the public group. And then a lot of people are referred to us from some of the professionals in town, solicitors. We've got a great relationship with all of the community organisations in Limerick, because obviously we were around since 2003, 14 years, so we have developed a very good relationship with people.
Now, tell me, am I right in saying finally that the rate of separation is actually on the increase?
Yes. Yeah, it's very high in this city of Limerick, for the whole of Ireland, and things that are high in Munster that are similar are suicides, so we do, as Joe said earlier on, we do play an important part in keeping those figures down. But what's really, really hard, and I can't emphasize it enough, Joe said it earlier on, is when a man and a woman separate, the woman's life carries on without the man, the partner. And now you can have separations where you have 2 same-sex couples, but we'll just say in a male-female relationship. So not an awful lot has changed, except the man who she didn't love or whatever is gone out of the picture. He's on his own. He's floating around. He's looking for a new house. He's fighting to get access to his kids. He's, his job could be, his health, the stress and the strain. It's very, very tough on a man. And that's why the support that we offer to men and women, but particularly to men, is very important. And for any man who out there feels shy or whatever, when you come in here, you're in a safe environment, a safe place, and you're with like-minded people who can empathise with you. And that's what we do best. We actually give great emotional and moral support to people to start them to turn their lives and give them new direction.
Well, that's fantastic, and our message really here is this evening, listening to Joe and to Seamus, is there is no, like the Samaritans, or if you're going through a tough spot and separation is pending and divorce is pending and you're worried about access to your children or whatever, the main thing is just to pick up that helpline. And we'll have it up on screen. And
we have meetings here every Monday and Thursday.
And you have that network where people can sit down, have a tea or a coffee, a chat, just to offload that awful pressure that is on them. which is fantastic.
We also offer a one-to-one service as well, John. If
Yes,
people
yeah.
are not comfortable initially with the group setting, so they can do that as well.
Yeah, one-to-one, which
Yeah.
is more personal for
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
so they don't feel inhibited
Yeah.
by talking about it maybe in a group.
In front of people.
Everyone is different as well. Well, thank you so much, Joe. Thank you indeed, Seamus. I know that with the new radio station LIR, we will be doing a lot more series on mental health, on separation and all with your good self. So thank you indeed. Gonna be the Mahagut.
Thanks, Al.